This was a good episode. Very interesting. Heather, you were definitely the MVP. You spit facts and you spit them well. Lisa Barlow, hurt people, hurt people. There's something going on with you, girl. I give you hell every week, but I actually felt for you this episode. Crazy. And Bronwyn, your husband looks more like your dad to me sometimes. I just hope that you got some good dick on the side.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right. Welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. Okay. Salt Wives, The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 6. This was a good episode. This was a really good episode. Um, wow. So we open with Angie. I almost forgot her name. Angie and Heather in their homes making coffee, getting ready to, I guess, FaceTime with each other. So they FaceTime with each other to talk about the events before with Lisa Barlow and the situation with Mary. But the conversation, the main focus was Lisa Barlow. This, let me tell you something. Heather did her big one this episode. Heather can be a lot sometimes or be very oblivious or ride too hard for the wrong person, but she will call out some shit when it's some bullshit and she will point out something when it needs to be pointed out. I like that she was like, we need to call out Lisa Barlow. And she didn't say that, but she was just like, why is it that she attacks her friends the way that she does in the whole low blow? Angie talks about how she felt bad about how she came at it, but she felt like she had to do it. Um, I understand, Angie. Sometimes your approach isn't the best, but it is what it is. You're human, you know. And even with Lisa Barlow's human. I feel like God help me because she gets on my nerves, but I feel like this episode, and just from little comments she's made in the past about her upbringing, I feel like Lisa Barlow's whole ego and persona is a shield. You know what I mean? She's just a hurt little girl deep down that wants some love and attention. That's the vibe that I get from her. That's the vibe that I get from her. It explains why she's so into material items and surface behavior. And that was what they were talking about, basically. They weren't saying all that, but they were talking about like well, Angie was saying how nothing with her is there's no substance. Everything is surface and not going deep. You know what I mean? And you could tell, I mean, her reaction to so many things in this episode, Lisa Barlow can't go deep. And the thing is, it's not that she can't go deep, it's that she doesn't want to go deep and face what's there. And I think Lisa, as somebody who's been done that, go deep, girl. Face the monster head on. You'll be all right. It'll save your marriage. It'll help you feel better. Because when you can't take accountability and face who you are, that's a problem. It's a big one, and it gets worse when you get older. Just saying, girl. We both in our 40s. Just saying. But anyway, I'm digressing a lot. It's just this was a really good episode. So they're planning to. So basically, Heather talks about how she wants to basically talk to Lisa because she's like, I want our friendship to be more than this surface. I want to be able to go deep with her, blah, blah, blah. She reiterates it again later. Angie talks about her friendship with Mary, and she's like, I love Mary. And she's like, this friendship with it's interesting because she compared the friendships inadvertently, but she was like, this friendship with Mary, I really care about and I want to repair. Um, and she didn't say that about Lisa Barlow, but the energy is different. You know what I mean? The energy is different. And it was funny because Heather was like, "Who would have thought you and Mary?" You know what I mean? It's crazy, but who would have thought anyway? Because I didn't care for Mary in the first season. Fell in love with her later on. I was like, "Yo, Mary's great. She's a little kooky crazy, but she cool." And I respect her for talking about for her and her son to talk about his struggles with with substance abuse, because a lot of people are doing that. A lot. I know. I was a functioning alcoholic for a long ass time. I know. But anyway, so after that, so they do that. So after that, Bronwyn and her husband go to this like ice cream parlor, cute spot. What she was wearing was cute until they sat down at that table in that conversation in the outfit. This scene was an interesting scene. So basically, she's talking to him about the events before Angie and Lisa, and he was so checked out. And Todd was just, I mean, Todd was not here for it at all. But what was crazy is I'm like, Bronwyn looks like his teenage daughter right now. First of all, that bright pink headband with that pink ass dress and that big bow in the front, it was giving Clueless. It was giving Daddy, I want an Alaya or whatever. I'm messing it up. But anyway, it just they I really I'm gonna reiterate what I said in my opening. I really do hope she has some good dick on the side because they're very disconnected. I would be surprised if they even sleep in the same room, you know? Um, he seems so, and maybe he's different off camera. I know that when you're in front of the lights and the camera and the world, yeah, things are different. So he's probably a lot more reserved, but it's just interesting how it was almost cringeworthy. Not for anything that they did, but just the whole dynamic of the scene and her talking and him just actually no, it was cringeworthy because she's sitting there like gushing about the ladies. And I'm thinking, you have no one else to film with to talk about them besides him? I thought your daughter was, I don't know. It's just Todd seems tortured. But as she's like, basically explaining what's going on, you could tell she felt invalidated because she says in her confessional, she's like, I accept that Todd is not, very emotional. And basically it sounds like she compromised that for him and she's like she basically wants him to compromise the fact that she is emotional, like not compromise but accept her and be open. She does it with him and it's not reciprocated. I mean, that's apparent. He also seemed very uncomfortable, but it was sad. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had someone at the door. Anyway, so it was sad because in this scene you could tell she was feeling invalidated with him. Her feelings felt invalidated because he wasn't really acknowledging them. I mean, he had his head down, he's ignoring her. So she kind of starts crying. Not kind of, she starts crying. And in her confessional, she's just saying how I guess they're trying to work on their communication, but it always ends up with her crying. And she's like, I just wish that he could notice this before it gets to me in tears. Bronwyn, that's a lot. That's a lot. I'm glad you're on this show and you're accumulating extra income because I'm like, are y'all happy? Can you be happy in a situation like that? I don't know. I'm not gonna question it. Well, I am questioning it, obviously. I don't know. He seems so just, you know, he reminds me of Cher's dad in Clueless, minus all minus not yelling. Okay, girl. So anyway, we get to Mary and Angie. Mary comes to Angie's house so they can talk about their blow up. Um, I love Mary so much. Oh my God. I love Angie too. Angie, sometimes you don't have the best delivery or the timing, but I love you. Anyway, so they come in and they talk about what happened before. And Mary tells Angie, she's like, you get so angry and caught up, and basically you get caught up in the bullshit. You let it affect you. Then you get so angry that you're hard to calm down, and then you attack me. And Mary felt attacked, and Angie was just like, she's a bully, and I felt like I needed to defend myself. And it was interesting because Mary was like, "Well, you're the one that's acting like a bully. You're basically you're going to her level." And she's right. She's right because it's funny. I love you, Angie, but let's talk about it for a minute. Angie, where was this energy when Jen Shaw poured that fucking glass of water on your head on the trip that you invited her on and paid for? Not to mention you had already paid for one of Coach Shaw's parties. Where was that energy then? You was quiet as a church mouse then. Lisa Barlow, you're like, you're bucking. Because you know Lisa Barlow can't bust a grape. But Jen Shaw, we all know, will hit you in the face and give you a black eye. Um, but anyway, in this scene, Mary talks about how she's not friends with a lot of people. She's been burned a lot and she doesn't open up to people. And she said for her, she really opened up to Angie. Like Angie, Angie's her person. And she felt betrayed by her. Was it betrayed? Did she say betrayed? No, I don't know if she said, maybe she did say betrayed, but she didn't like how, I think she did. She didn't like how Angie came at her. And because she values their friendship, she's extra sensitive to it. I can dig it. I can dig it. And I think Angie understood that. It was funny because she was trying to like, first of all, can we talk about before we got all that? They were talking, Mary called out the fact that she made fun of her. So after, I'm sorry. What did Willy Wonka say? Stop that, reverse it. Stop that, reverse it. So after Mary, opens up about how she really cares about Angie, but like this hurt her feelings, they kind of mend a little bit, but Mary's like, we still need to work on it. And Mary goes, and you made fun of my farts. This shit was hilarious. So they roll back a couple days before. It's Mary, Angie, and Whitney, or no, I'm sorry, not Whitney, Bronwyn. Mary, they're all drinking. Mary farts once, and then Angie, I guess, kept bringing up the fact that she was farting, even though she only farted once. And took offense to that. That shit was hilarious. Her talking about your dog farted and you blamed it on me. And then, first of all, I eat healthy, so my farts don't even smell bad. How can you not distinguish my fart from your dog's fart? That shit was ridiculous in the best way. It was great. And it was funny because mid argument or mid like Mary rant, Angie's trying not to laugh. I mean, the shit was funny. It was so ridiculous. But I love their friendship because it was one that no one saw coming. So yeah, work that shit out, y'all. I forgot to add this too. So at the top of the episode, Heather actually invites all the ladies to Heather and Whitney. Is it Heather and Whitney? Heather and Whitney are doing a trip together, and they're taking the ladies to Canoan, which is in the Caribbean islands near the Galapagos, 2,200 miles to be exact. Yay! Maybe they'll see. That'd be cool to go to the Galapagos Islands. I would love to go there, just to go where Charles Darwin was and like lived. That would be awesome. Anyway, so the whole thing is they're all a lot of the reason the root of why Heather and Angie wanted to talk to Lisa and Mary is because they're all going to be on this yacht in islands that I've never heard of till this episode. I heard about the Galapagos. I ain't never heard no canoeing, nothing. Okay, so that was Heather's whole thing is we got to come together. We have to come together. We're a sisterhood, and we have to come together. So we end this scene with Angie and Mary holding hands. I skipped a whole scene, you guys. So I skipped the scene with Lisa and her husband John. Oh my god! So this was a really good scene. It was a good scene because they talk about their marriage, their relationship. She mentions the whole psychic thing, which is what Bronwyn had mentioned to Todd, which is how it kicked off these conversations. But Lisa talks about how the psychic told her about, there's a disconnect in the communication between her and her husband. She brings it up. And so in Lisa's confessional, where she was wearing a cowboy hat and outfit, I was like, she didn't look bad, but it just seemed out of place. Girl, who is styling you? Who is styling you? Anyway, so Lisa, something is going on with Lisa Barlow, and I don't think it has shit to do with these lawsuits. Something deep is going on with her because basically in this scene, she says her and her husband are talking, and she's talking about the communication is bad, and she feels like she's not treated a certain way. She starts crying in her confessional and says that this was interesting. She wants her husband to treat her like glass because he is the only one that can shatter her. That's fascinating. And I'm not gonna talk shit about it. I'm not making fun of it. because she was crying when she said it. It was very real. And it's one of, I feel like this is the Lisa Barlow that we need to be seeing. This is the Lisa Barlow that your friends want to see, Lisa Barlow. That's who they want to see. You open up to the camera more than you do other people. And there could be a reason for that. I mean, you slipped last, well, not slip, but you said some shit last year that I'll remember forever. I come from a family of 6. I'm used to getting, what did she say? I could have been kid, I could have been human trafficked and nobody would have noticed. That spoke volumes to me. Volumes. So for you to say that you want your husband to treat you like glass, that's interesting. Lisa, I drag you every week, but something going on with you, girl. And I hope that you can work it out. Like I said earlier, I think you need to face the person in the mirror, face whatever this you don't like to go deep. You need to face that shit. Um, and it's interesting too because I think your like self-centeredness, I feel like that's not totally real either. I think that's a shield too. It's just a way of acting to hold people off from who you truly are, you know? Um, I don't know, man. I want you to be all right. You get on my nerves and you can be mean and nasty sometimes, but you're not a bad person, not a terrible person. Um, but you do like to dig up dirt on your, and I'll say it again, but you do like to dig up dirt on your friends and then throw it on them later. So because I skipped that scene, the scene we actually get to next is Heather and Lisa Barlow. This was a good scene. Okay. So they meet up at some clothing boutique to shop for this trip to the Canawan Islands. And Heather attempts to get deep with Lisa, and it doesn't go well. It doesn't go well at all. She calls, so they start talking about her whole beef with her and Angie, right? And because they're all going to be staying on this yacht, and Lisa's like, are we going to allowed to bring glam? And Heather's like, no. And so Lisa's freaking out. If you guys remember, and they flash back to 2 years ago, how she was freaking out about glam, and I have glam in San Tropez, and da, da, da. The fact that you need a makeup team to travel with you is kind of wild. I know we're on TV, but come on, girl. Really? Really? I mean, it's your prerogative, but really? Um, so Heather jokes and she's like, well, Whitney can do your makeup. And she's like, And she goes, and Angie can blow out your hair. That's a hard pass on that one. And she goes, so you wouldn't trust her to blow out your hair? I wouldn't trust her with anything. So that kicks off the conversation about the fight from the last episode and them slinging mud at each other. Um, it's interesting because Lisa does not see her position in situations. She is the victim. She is the one. Lisa, it's only happening to her. She did nothing to provoke the situation. It's only what's happening to her. So Heather's trying to get her to understand, like, because she's like, well, I'll stop talking about Angie when she stops talking about me. And Heather's like, but you're the one that's talking about her. You keep saying stuff, which is why she keeps saying stuff back because she's upset. So Heather's like, I need you to understand, like, you can't say all this stuff about her and then expect me to be like, okay, and then you do the same thing. Because Lisa gives this terrible example. She actually says, what did she say? I don't count her money. I don't want her to leave me alone. Stop talking about my kids, my family, my marriage, and what is it? And stop counting my money. I don't count her money, even though I could, and it wouldn't take that long. Some dumb shit like that. And Heather's like, what, So Lisa couldn't handle. So Lisa starts tearing up. Of course, she puts her glasses on, and I was cracking up because some of the employees were watching them because that conversation started off normal, and the shit just kept escalating, and the octaves were getting louder, the attitude was getting bigger, and homegirl was crying off and on. Lisa Barlow, something's going on with you, honey. And what's crazy is you cannot handle the truth about yourself. Heather was telling her, she's like, you can't, we're your friends. We're a group of ladies. We're a sisterhood here. We can't, no one, this is why nobody rides for you because you sling mud. When she said that, this is why nobody rides hard for you. Like, damn. Um, Lisa couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle it. This is going to be an interesting trip. But Lisa Barlow, you got a lot going on with you. And I feel like when you are in your 40s and you don't know how to take accountability, something's wrong. You might need to go. You need therapy, baby. I'm a big advocate. I love therapy. I think everybody should go to therapy. My fucking cats should go to therapy. Everybody should go to therapy. Lisa Barlow, you need to go to therapy because something's going on. You cry at the drop of a dime. You cannot handle the truth about yourself. That shit's crazy. You can't. If you're always the victim, then baby, it's you. It's you. Because you're always the common denominator. So, baby doll, it's you. These other group of ladies aren't perfect, but honey, it's you. And the reality is, you do dig up dirt on people, talk shit, and then say horrible, salacious things about them. And then the irony that all the shit that came out about you this year wasn't made up by anybody or alleged. Like, you really are going through these lawsuits, and you mad because people addressing it, but you do that shit all the time. That okay, girl. So anyway, this next scene, honey, Brittany meets up with her youngest daughter, Olivia. This was a trip. Brittany, you're a trip. Did you have a lobotomy at one point? Like, what happened? So her youngest daughter is 18. Her youngest daughter and the other daughter, who they didn't even show, I don't even think they've even said her name. They don't speak. Her daughters are slowly starting to speak to her again. Her relationship with her youngest daughter, according to that psychic, and her is very strained. So they meet up. That shit was awkward as fuck. So they, the daughter comes into where it was like some sort. I don't know if they were not at a restaurant, but I would say like some cute cafe type situation. So the daughter walks in. It was so crazy to me. It reminded me of that scene in Predator when Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger first meet up right before they do the I'm a nerd. If you know that, then shout out to you if you know that reference. Anyway, they like linger right here with each other and then give like this awkward hug. I was like, wow, they really are estranged. So we find out in this scene that Brittany was married to her daughter's dad for a while. She got a divorce. She felt like she needed to have a stronger family unit. So apparently she married some other dude again. That fell apart. And it just seemed like she was entertaining her relationships more than paying attention to her daughters. Um, she definitely brushed over a lot of the details, but long story short, her daughters ended up living with their dad and pretty much stayed living with their dad. And it seemed like she just stopped communicating with them, or I don't know. So then her daughter's sitting there talking to her. So they start getting into it. And the daughter's like, yeah, this is better than the last time we talked. And she says that she's like, I went to your house and Jared was there and you guys proceeded to make out in front of me. What? What? Brittany, you have an estranged relationship with your children. You have the opportunity to meet up with your younger daughter and your boyfriend shows up and you're making out with the boyfriend in front of your daughter who you're estranged to. And you're trying to mend the relationship because the shit was fucked up over a man to begin with. Girl, Brittany, let me tell you something. Brittany, I don't know what's going on with you. And it's crazy because the daughter has her own confessional. So shout out to you, Olivia. Get your coin. But what's interesting is she's like, my mom was a totally different person. And then she changed like completely. And she's like, I don't know who this is. That was crazy. They seem like strangers. That was this was a heavy ass episode. My God. Wow. Wow. It's just Brittany, you're a mess, honey. You are a mess. I will forever be stuck on making out with Jared in front of your daughter. Like, were y'all drinking? Like, what the fuck? Like, what? That's crazy. Really, really crazy. Anyway, so Meredith and Heather meet up. They're talking about this yacht trip and they're talking about Lisa. This was a good scene. it's pretty much rehashing everything we've said in this episode about Lisa Barlow. But I will say this, Heather made the realest point in this scene. She's like, we need to talk to Lisa about this. She's like, there is a common theme here of whenever she's fighting with someone, all of a sudden all these details about their life comes out in the press. And Heather's whole thing is, I don't want to be friends with somebody where I have to walk on eggshells with, because when Mad Day comes, and she called out the fact that Meredith was very quick to forgive Lisa. Not forgive, but she pretty much let it go with Lisa, the stuff that Angie had said. And we know it's true. So we don't know if it's true, but Heather breaks it down. Heather's like, I believe Angie. Everything that she said about what Lisa has been doing tracks. She's done it before, so this makes sense that she would do it again. She's already did it to you once before. Meredith's whole thing is, so you're gonna take Angie's word, and then they flash back to Angie making some comment about scissor kicks with Heather. I think she was doing that to be cheeky. I don't think she was doing that like as word or whatever. But it was interesting. So Meredith chooses to believe Lisa. Meredith, you crazy as hell, but okay, girl. Meredith chooses to believe Lisa, but whatever. They're talking about the trip. Heather's thing is, we've known this woman for a long time. If she's not going to change, if no one's going to call her out about herself, who else is going to do it? We've known her long enough where we're the ones that have to do it, and she's right. She's right. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. But Meredith's interesting. Meredith is like said she did say, when someone shows you who they are, you deal with them accordingly. Okay, cool. Meredith, I think Lisa got some other shit on you, because okay, that rant, that hot mic rant on you that she did, that bitch wouldn't be able to smell my farts. All the shit she said. Fart is the word of this. Scream 4 times if you hear fart again. Pee Wee Herman reference for all you old people that are watching me. Okay, so Bronwyn closing out the episode with her dad. I'm joking, her husband Todd. So apparently Bronwyn allegedly got involved with some identity theft and some other things when she was younger. Girl, who cares? It was 10 years ago, yada yada yada. But in this scene, um, she's talking to Todd, and she feels bad because she knows that this stuff reflects poorly upon him as well. And they're talking about this trip to the Canowin Islands. And Todd, once again, I mean, he was right. I agree with Todd. He was like, listen, I don't know why you're going on this trip with these group of women, especially Lisa, because you're gonna go and it's gonna be this whole thing, and you guys are gonna fight. And he's like, well, you're a grown woman. You can do what you want. But when you come back, I don't want to hear about how you fought with Lisa Barlow. He said, I wouldn't piss on Lisa Barlow's brain if it was on fire. Okay, Todd, damn. Todd. Anyway, the episode ends there. This was a good episode. Heavy. Very interesting. Bronwyn, I really do hope you have a good dick on the side. Anyway, um, I'm sorry my reviews have been late. I have this new job. I'm just adjusting to this new position and hours and energy, because I only do this shit when I feel like doing it, right? Anyway, what is today? Wednesday. Happy hump day, y'all. No. Oh my God. No, today's Thursday. Today's Thursday? Today's Thursday. Happy Thursday. Stay hydrated. Be nice to each other. And I'm going to go return these videotapes.